Have you ever experienced a game changer? These are people or thoughts or ideals that have been invented that change the whole landscape of a game. One of the guys I know that have been a game changer in the basketball industry was a guy by the name of Bill Russell. Back in the Celtics heyday and Red Auerbach, and they were winning all these championships. And Bill Russell was so good at defense. They had to widen the lane to give people more freedom to move about with the basketball. They also had to make goaltending illegal, where if you shoot the ball and it's on the way down, he couldn't just swipe it off the rim. Because he was so good at doing that, people couldn't score any buckets. And so because of that, he said that the league changed the rules. It changed the entire game. For me, in my personal life, I had a guy that was a game changer for me. And this guy's name was Tom Firkenhoff. And Tom was an accountant by nature. He was an accountant by his profession. And Tom didn't look like us. He didn't talk like us. He didn't act like us. He didn't dress like us. Tom was one of those guys that even in his 30s looked like he was 60, 70 years old. He had thinning hair on top, and he would comb over, and this crazy bushy mustache. And he wore these polyester suits with elbow patches on them. And Tom would come down into our neighborhood, and I grew up in a predominantly African-American neighborhood. All of my best friends growing up were either African-American or Puerto Rican. And Tom was this just traditional, throwback, old-school looking white guy. And Tom would come into our community, and we'd be playing football in the street, or we'd be playing wiffle ball in the street. And Tom would show up every Thursday night in this beat-up, rusted up church van. And you didn't even know it was a church van because the words First Wesleyan Church, Richmond, Indiana 47374 on the side of the van were so faded and messed up that you couldn't even tell what it said on the side of the van. We affectionately as kids began to call it the creeper van. But Tom would show up every Thursday, and he would build relationships with us. He would bring ice cream, he would bring soda, he'd bring Gatorade, he'd bring water, and he would just give it to us, and he began to build this relationship with us. And over the years, we would always turn him down. We would make fun of him. We'd call him the polyester guy. We'd make fun of his van, call it the creeper van. We'd call him the choir boy because we knew he was from a church, and he would invite us to youth group every Thursday, and we would never go. And one Thursday, a friend of mine named Matt came. We were all playing football in the street. And Matt said, "Hey, guys, I'm going to go to church today." And we were like, "No, that's crazy." And then we made fun of Matt for a while. And then finally, Matt came back the next Thursday, and he told us, he said, "Guys, there are girls at church." And so we got on the van that night. And so through that experience, Tom continued to build relationship with us. He would pay for us to go to youth camps in the summer. He'd pay for us to go on retreats. He would take us to basketball games, football games. He would take us to Dairy Queen. Whenever anything tragic would happen in our household, Tom was always there. He would pray for us. He would minister to our family. He would love on us. And I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that if it weren't for Tom Firkenhoff, I wouldn't be here today. It was at one of those summer camps that Tom paid for me to go to, because my family was very poor. Couldn't even afford lights sometimes. We couldn't afford heat sometimes. I grew up for many years. We had a hole in our roof in our kitchen, and it would rain, and our kitchen would get all wet, and we had to mop it up. But Tom would pay for me to go to these things, and his investment in my life was a game changer. See, at one of those youth camps he paid for me to go to, I found Jesus. Or Jesus found me. Jesus had been pursuing me my whole life. And that day, I committed my life to Christ. And I wish I could say it was easy. I wish I could say I became Tom's biggest fan. I wish I could say I became the best leader in our youth ministry. None of that would be true. But I do know this, that Tom continued to chip away and disciple me. And because of that, I am a pastor today. Because of that, I am a father today that wants my kids to grow up and know who Christ is. Because of that, I left the gang lifestyle that I was involved in throughout high school. Because of that, I had a glimpse of hope in my life that pointed me in a direction of Christ. I can tell you also that Camp Sawp Fox is a game changer. And so today, I want you to think about being a partner with Camp Sawp Fox. I don't know what that means for you. Maybe it's just writing a check. Maybe it's getting involved in the summer camp. Maybe it's mentoring one of these young men that have been coming to the camp. But you right now, you could be thinking to yourself, well, I don't look like them. I don't act like them. I don't talk like them. I don't understand their culture. Let me tell you something. I've been in the youth ministry for 20 years. I've been a youth pastor for 20 years. I don't understand teen culture. They do things today. They post things today. They talk about things today that I don't understand. But I do know one thing. I know that they want to have a relationship with somebody. And so I ask you this. Do you want to be a game changer? And it's not because of who you are, what you look like, what you act like, your culture, your background. You can be a game changer by just being three things. Being available, being a safe space, and being the kind of person that is for one of these young men. Because you're going to show them hope, and you're going to show them a better way to live life. Point them to Jesus. Be a game changer. Camp Sawp Fox.